Okay. Let's see if I remember how to run a game.
You do that?
No, I usually just sit back and just referee you guys.
My memory is already terrible, so once a week is missed, I forget everything. This is the Starfinder game, right?
I blame V3.
This is no, I can't remember what it's called. Never mind, joke's ruined.
Stellaris? Eclipse phase.
That's what I was trying to think of. Let's roll some density.
Did you say density?
Yeah.
I think he did.
Back to the Future, sorry.
All I could think of was a Nibbler from the Futurama. So I know an expert on dense things. Fuck, double white side. I'm sorry. I just can't do you any favors,
That's
buddy.
what I'm
I
looking
don't.
for.
There you go.
Okay.
Funny?
What's that?
It was 4-2 before we rolled. At least according to my character sheet.
Yeah, you're right.
And we rolled the exact same thing that we ended last session on.
Question for you guys. What is our total XP at? Because I might be lacking some.
It's like 1,000 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well over 1,000.
Wow.
It's definitely north of 700.
Yeah, the last time I bothered, I always keep a track of my available XP, but I always forget to add to the total so I know where we're at. So I have what the total was when I first joined. It was 685, if that helps at all. 4 months ago.
Nope. I don't even care. Mine says 615. I'm like, no. Because it says 615 with 70 available, and I'm like, no. Not doing it.
Okay.
I will suffer for my rolls. I don't. No.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, at this point, like, even if you're like 20 or even 40 XP off, is it really gonna like be the end of the world for you?
No.
So today's session, we all suffer horrible amnesia and start back at ground zero.
Yeah. All right. It feels like forever since I've done this.
It's been a while.
Yeah, just ease into it. Darth Vader comes onto our ship.
So, last, I don't remember the time frame that I set, but we'll say a couple of weeks-ish. You guys get a bunch of the droids up from the planet. Get a decent amount of the crew going on your new ship. You guys got that message from Creepio. But there's, you know, if you want to go do some side gigs, you could, you know, whatever you guys are wanting to do, wherever you want to head off to. You guys have relatively safe passage through Hutt space at this point. Still sort of wanted by the Empire, so you might not want to go to any place too populated or controlled by Imperial forces.
What was Creepio's message? again?
One of their agents has gone missing. A Chadra fan named Chadikins.
Oh. We were looking for him.
What was that? We were looking for Brutus, was it? What's that?
Chadikins.
Who?
Chadikins.
I think V3 is the only character that was around for Chadikins when he actually showed up.
Yeah, but when you guys were in the Black Sun research facility,
Mm-hmm.
You did.
His name popped up again.
His name popped up again. He was advertising a statue that he had found that apparently had the Black Sun was also interested in it because it had part of the statue was this crystal shape that seemed to match the same crystal that they were using in their research.
I'm interested in it just because Rin was interested in it. And we all know I don't like Rin.
Wears his heart on his sleeve. Somewhere on a desolate planet, Ren looks up like,
Speaking of my sleeves, I need to get my arms cut off and put my new arms put on. Such a weird thing to say.
I need some new arms.
I've got the arms. I just need them attached.
That's a pretty sweet alternative to working out, you know? Should I bench press for 6 months or spend 20 minutes getting them added on?
I mean, that is
Well,
something. You have some fairly decent medical facilities on board your ship. It's missing some of the more higher end stuff. Like it has space for like a Bacta tank and stuff, but you'd have to purchase one of those if you want to have access to something like that. But
I'd have to trust V3 to do this, and I don't know how I feel about that.
He plants a chip in your head while you're out.
No offense, Vukar.
Mm-hmm. Well placed caution.
Yeah, legit concern. By the way, did we
I
find
don't want
out
to
what
be
happened
standing
to
there like the
doctor?
Black Knight.
Like, did we find out the entirety of what happened to the doctor, or just that he was buggered off with the Black Suns?
He was taken.
Taken? Okay.
Yeah, Liam Neeson was there and everything.
God damn it, Qui-Gon.
I hope his wife is okay. She was nice.
well, if you recall in the video, she shot him.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Was that part of their nuptial agreement? Like, were they into that, or does that seem like something off course?
They took the body with them.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's an odd thing to take. Why would you take a corpse of somebody?
For only unholy reasons.
And that's when the Black Ring virus comes into play, boys.
Yeah, V3 will send a little ship alert to PK and told to meet him in the hull of the ship to discuss the next steps.
The ship's so large, after an hour we finally arrive, like, ugh. But yeah, so we'll happily drop whatever the hell he's doing, probably making tea, to head on to the hull since V3 is calling on him.
Yeah, and in the background I kind of imagine a lot of the space has been kind of repurposed. So it's a pretty massive kind of container chamber for this hole. And you can see, dozens of these piecemeal droids put back together, moving here and there, setting up these terminals and facilities. There are flashes of light as tools are going off and torches are welding things into place.
This doesn't bode well. Continuing.
I was just thinking that that's both a pretty awesome sight to see and a potentially terrifying sight to see. I don't know how to feel about this. Get that lung out of there.
Ah, greetings. Yes.
Oh, V3.
Progress is underway with the research. At this time, it seems prudent to pursue this Chadkins that has gone missing. There is potential interest in finding Kolkan through this contact, due to previous association.
I must admit, the Kalkan does strike me as familiar, but the other name I don't believe I've ever heard. Who is this, Chadkis, or whatever you said the name was?
Chadkins is the name of a Tradrafan, which treated with me once in the past, favorably, at a scrapyard.
Oh. That's quite a connection to maintain a hold of, then. Do you have any inkling of his whereabouts?
I know of the last known location of Chadkins. However, it is unclear how up-to-date that may be. It appears that he may go missing.
Tracking the little thing down.
There was a holovid at the Black Sun Research Facility which suggested his knowledge of a statue with a similar crystal important to Force users.
I'm so disappointed in myself. I should know the name of that crystal. Is that the kind that they like Miss Rin used for a light sword thing, or a different type of crystal?
That would be the crystal that was more like what Scorn came out of.
Correct.
Oh. And we're willingly going towards another one, eh?
If it keeps it out of her hands, sure.
That's fair. So it's probably best we set an agenda for ourselves. Where are we headed, and what aims should we have, along with Skull Kid, of course, requiring his new arms. I'm sure he's quite antsy to get those all done.
I will put in coordinates for the last contact location for Chadrafan, or for Chadkins. From there, we may investigate if he has gone missing, where.
Fair enough, fair enough. I'm sure with a little scrounging around, even if he was missing, we'd be able to find a trail of some sort. There's always something.
It is my hope that through this Chadkins, or through the use of this crystal, we may find some trail which leads to Kolkan before the Black Sun finds him.
This is my terrible memory. Kolkan was the one that started the whole imprisoning Jedi business, yeah?
Yep, it's who
Awesome.
V3 originally worked for.
Oh, fuck, yeah, that whole thing. Oh, God. Okay, this will be good. Okay.
Do you remember when you were all quite crying and upset about the little girl that Scorn took over?
And Corbin got vaporized? Yeah, I recall that.
And I had gone off on my own and found the room with this Chadkins message in it.
That's just my terrible memory, because I was hearing the names like, I know who this is, and then it clicked, it's like, oh. Probably invest in firearms or something. Alright. Reach your feelers out, see what we can grab hold of so we can make way towards that destination then.
Affirmative. Kind of sets his data pad down, starts walking off without any goodbye or anything.
I love him. Was there any was the statue of a specific figure that would be recognizable, or he didn't show us the
Toydarian?
videos? No.
It's a Toydarian holding a stone.
No, what an ugly statue.
It's a Toydarian. What do you want?
Someone that sounds like a New York Italian, you know.
If you want, during the quote unquote downtime while you guys were waiting for all the droids to get repaired and whatnot, if you want to make a hard medicine check to get those cybernetics installed.
You want me to help you out?
I mean, if you don't have to. I'm just saying that's.
What happens?
I'm not making it because I'm just laying there.
He gets in despair. He puts his arms on backwards. I have nothing in medicine, so I can't help you there, buddy.
Am I making this roll?
Whoever's doing the install. You can try if you want, but I'm gonna upgrade it once for each arm. You're gonna cut one arm off and be like, go to reach for the other one and put it on.
Isn't that like a Futurama bit?
It is, actually. I guess it's like the trust fall exercise. You have to go ask V3. V3, will you operate on me while I'm unconscious for several hours, completely under your care?
So I go and approach V3 and have my arms, in a sling.
Greetings,
Don't work
PK.
too good.
Do we have ample time to approach this situation?
Indeed, I am available to assist.
What do I need to do here?
There is a med bay which you may utilize. With appropriate use of anesthetics, you will be able to sleep. I will see about the most efficient installation of these extremities.
Hey, Toll,
Yes?
didn't you buy a book?
I did, actually, a book on cybernetics. I believe it would give a boost eye out contextual wise.
Yeah, I remembered something. Like, wait,
Yeah. I think I gave it to you.
did you?
Yeah, because I knew you were into that, so I had given it to you a little bit after I got it. You never added it to your sheet. It disappeared into the void.
Don't say things like that. I don't know what the fuck that means. Who's Malaki Mook?
Huh?
What?
In my notes, I have human male Malaki Mook.
Malaki Mook. That's a chicken dish over at the Afghani restaurant down the street. Why?
I don't know.
Malaki Mook was when you guys were on. I don't know, where were you? When you guys were at Bunta, he was this barista that made some of the best calf that you've ever had, so you made sure to mark it down in your notes.
I'm okay with this.
In other words, I have no idea who that is.
Awesome sauce.
We cutting some arms off here, or are you guys just rolling?
Cutting some arms off.
All right, V3 leads PK down to the med bay, where he is anesthetized and dies.
Oops, I accidentally put in the euthanize command instead of the anesthetized.
You said 3 purple?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, that was lucky. I didn't check it at all.
That's an advantageous ass surgery right there.
That's lucky I didn't check it at all. That sounds like P3.
All right. It takes of course. It takes a good couple hours to get everything put together. I will say with the advantages and the triumph that you have on there, if you would like to, cybernetics, they have hard points in mods, right? Like attachments, or am I wrong?
I think so. I haven't looked at it, honestly.
I'm looking at Gears and Gadget right now. I don't see hard points on it.
Oh, that's disappointing. I guess this isn't Cyberpunk. Well then, never mind the bonus hard point on that. If you can think of something beneficial to get with those advantages and triumphs.
Like, the only mod is adding... Like, the only mod is that I'm adding the brawn arms, you know, instead of agility arms.
Yeah.
But with the Triumph, you know, while boringly reattaching different arms to me, he could heal my critical injury.
I didn't know you had a crit. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works. It takes advantage of the general anesthesia to do some more invasive surgery.
Into my brain.
Best kind.
It actually was a head injury, so...
Skull Kid comes out of surgery talking like V3.
Yeah. You have,
Well, him
Robot
being in my
neuron.
head, he would have access to my gank implant.
Accidentally, quote unquote, accidentally lobotomizes Skull Kid.
Would that...
Or... Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, would that be something like it? I don't want to like ruin anything for you with being gank, but with him having access to fixing your brain with the sheer amount of advantages and the triumph there, we could say that he takes, being V3, takes the time to like examine the gank implant and sort of does a little bit of work on himself so that he also has access to your secret communications, telepathy stuff, so that he can talk
Would
to
not
you.
surprise me.
So that you guys can communicate through the gank implant as if you were ganks. It is not mind reading or anything, V3. It's just a communications suite, basically, but it only works directly with other gank implants. So.
Not mind reading. Got it. Wink, wink.
Now V3 is in your head always.
Being that droids don't need to sleep, I'm picturing like every time Gank goes to sleep, V3 starts a subconscious like hypnosis protocol. You will do everything V3 wants you to do. You will obey all his commands.
Obey, consume.
He accidentally gains a consciousness. It's like, oh, he experiences a dream for the first time.
Obey.
Okay. That was earlier. You've had some time to like rest up, you know. Enjoying your agility arms?
Brawn.
Brawn, okay.
Infinite cosmic power.
It's pretty liquid space.
Alright. So you've got, after this amount of time, we'll say about, I want to say we said half a crew. So.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
So no more penalties on the ship. You're about at half crew. Skull Kid's got his sweet chrome arms.
Ew. They were chrome?
I don't know.
Shiny.
They're like the typical comic book robot arms, like Colossus, where it's just like a regular arm but silver with like the little bands around it.
Call me Jax. No, I don't know.
That should make stealth rolls interesting.
Except, this universe is using the Unreal Engine, so there's like useless like just neon lights in various parts of it for no reason, just because it's the Unreal Engine and why not? So what are you guys doing?
B3 will put in the coordinates to the last place that he knew Chadkins definitely was at. I think that was a shipyard. I keep wanting to say Foremost, but I don't think it's Foremost.
That was, I believe that was Rorak?
Rorak.
Yeah, and he was on the planet Rorak. The space station Rorak is where you guys freed your Jedi friend. Well, Force-using friend that is no longer with you. And
yes.
Took Brutus up there and had that insane roll.
It's a Rorak then.
I love that roll.
Oh, why did you move?
Sudden galactic shift.
Oh, man.
Which Rorak? There are several.
What's Rorak 5?
Oh, the space station? Okay.
At least it's not Rorschach.
This is upsetting. Of course, I I did not save my goddamn Rorek. I have all the space station stuff.
I mean, you've only got 5,000 maps. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys enter in your hyperspace coordinates. Where's my map again? You guys are coming from Locke. Unless you want to try and get there quicker or anything, with the assault frigate, it is not as fast as your old Hammerhead. So you're looking at a little over a week's travel hyperspace to get there, making a couple of, course corrections, stops to go from one hyperspace lane to another. But eventually, you find yourself coming out in the Rorek system. V3 would probably be the only one that would have any sort of feelings about coming back to this system, I think. But it's V3, so he doesn't have any
No feelings.
Yeah.
How do you feel about coming here? And he just stares blankly.
Rorek 5, the space station is the where most people go, like the main destination in this system. It's sort of one of the main hubs of the slave trade, mostly in the Hutt Empire. It's in Hutt space, and it's like largely Hutt controlled, but sort of the Wall Street of the slave trade. It's not the only place to go for like large slave transactions, but it's one of the busier ones. The planet that it orbits, Rorek 5, it's more or less a desert world, not sandy desert like Tatooine. There's some areas where there's a little bit of growth. It's more like savanna. It's on the dry side of things, but it's definitely a hotter planet. Mostly illicit trade goes on down there, and usually just in service of sort of the slave trade. There is like Chatikins. There's a decent amount of like junk dealers and like outlaw mechanics and stuff like that. So harsh planet with harsh people.
Yay! I'm gonna fit in.
Are you just heading right for his junkyard?
Yeah,
Once
V3
I'm
will
told where the hell to go.
V3 will load up one of the little mini shuttle transports with V4 and N16.
Time to mix in with the Hutts again.
Preferably not.
You guys all heading on the same shuttle?
I don't see.
I think so.
Okay.
Going shuttle? Yeah. Okay.
Well, you're not bringing the assault frigate down there.
Well, that's true.
Do we have an alarm system on the ship?
Yeah, it's called droids.
Yeah, right? I show no life forms. You get on, it's a whole army of droids daring you to try to steal the ship.
It's B1 battle droids, so chances are they'll accidentally assist someone in taking over the ship.
Roger, Roger, please step away from the vehicle.
Alright, I need to build more N16s. That's a good call.
Oh man, I was
Good God.
suggested, and then Crispy went and said it for you.
All right. There's a decent enough room on the shuttle for everybody. I think you should just start. Yeah, never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. You guys,
Half jokes.
you guys pile into the shuttle. Gank follows V3's directions down. You fly over Chattakins' junkyard, and with the shuttle being a smaller craft, you can just land at one of his landing pads that he has open. You see there's a couple of spots where there's some mostly intact ships, like personal sized craft that he seems to have been working on that have, you see there's parts laying around outside of the ship. It's, basically driving by a garage. He's more of a junk dealer, so chances are he's, dismantling these for parts, but who knows with this guy. He's all over the place when it comes to this stuff. But there is one open landing pad that you can come in on.
On in.
Bringing the ship in, the shuttle in. Gank's piloting ability it makes for a pretty smooth landing. It is relatively unusual coming in somebody's space like this that you weren't contacted or anything once you sort of entered his area, but considering you were told that he was missing, sort of chalk that up to probably nobody's here.
Nobody home.
Yeah, and on the shuttle flight down, V3 would be seen making more like small modifications to N16. Back to opening up plates and reconnecting wires. Basically, I'm gonna repurpose some of his processors, make an average computer's check, and increase one of his characteristics by 1 at the cost of another.
Would it be worth finding a hailing frequency, you think, or are we trying to just get in there and see what the deal is?
It sounded like we didn't get one on the way in, right?
No.
Alright, so that's just to increase N16's, what is it? Is it cunning by 1. And we'll decrease his intelligence by 1.
No, that's not something like that's like you can't. That reverts back, or is that something that?
Yeah, it's just for the encounter.
Okay. was gonna say you keep doing that, and N16's just gonna be like, I'm going to shoot the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it takes you a good couple of minutes, but with the trip down there, it's thankfully Skull Kid's a really good pilot, so even in this brick of a shuttle, it manages to keep it pretty smooth for you, so that you're not getting bumped around or anything.
Nice.
But by the time you get down there, you get your modifications done. Stepping out of the shuttle onto the actual landing pad, you can see the landing pads are sort of arranged on one side of the area, elevated up a little bit. You can see down from the landing pad, in front of you, sort of the stairs lead down to like a common like catwalk that the rest of the landing pads all lead down to, and then that goes into like the main building that's in this area. Out beyond that, you see this walled-in area with just junk everywhere. Stuff piled up as far as the eye can see. You can see off in the distance along the walls there are several defense turrets on top of the walls, but they don't seem to be active, luckily.
I could have went badly.
Yeah, and as the shuttle hatch kind of comes down and opens up into all of this, N16 will be seen stepping out with the large Gatling gun strapped to him and this kind of optic visor attached to his eyepiece. But it seems like V3 and V4 are staying on the shuttle.
Okay.
Are there any like obvious signs right off bat of some kind of tussle going on, like scorch marks or blaster marks or anything?
No, not so far.
Looks like it's me and you, Skull Kid, and that thing. He looks at the Gatling gun apprehensively.
Searches, just get out once we land and slowly sweep the area.
Yeah, having been here before, or having not the English language is a bitch. Having not been here before, you really wouldn't know if anything was out of place. To you and Toll both, scanning around, just looking at everything, with sort of the state that he seems to keep everything in, like there's not a it's like this guy's a hoarder. There's enough room to walk, but pretty much everywhere you look there are parts just strewn about, going down the walkways and stuff. It's just along the side, every couple of inches there's just another pile of parts, smaller parts. Every once in a while in the larger areas there's large like mechanical ship pieces. Some like there's like the what's the word I'm looking for, like a panel from like a ship's like armor, just propped up against the wall next to the door down the stairs from you. but whatever damage that you can see seems to be older, especially if it was, like some of the ship parts, like the armor could have like some old, like scoring on it from maybe when they were destroyed, but it's hard to tell, especially with some of the welding and stuff that he seems to have done on some of the stuff. Everything's sort of in various states of destruction.
Pull out the general purpose scanner. Kind of do little scans for life signs, heat signatures, and things like that while walking behind N16.
Go ahead and give me we'll make this a normal computers check, just to see if you notice anything interesting on the scanner.
Okay. So he does like a Fallout with the Pip-Boy, just pulls it out, whacks it a couple of times. See, I've never used this damn thing before. Computer, what is it? It was a hard, what?
Normal. Average 2.
Oh, just, oh, 2? Okay.
Yep. I'm thinking more like Ziggy in Quantum Leap.
I haven't leaped yet.
Sam! You gotta kiss the girl, Sam! Okay. You don't find any, like, there's no, like, life signs or anything that are coming up on within range of the scanner. There does still seem to be power in the shop, and there does seem to be movement in there, but you're not reading any life signs.
Let's go, kid.
Yep.
I'm getting a few signals here. Seems the power is still going into the building itself, and there's movement. No life signs, though, so possible machinery, maybe a droid or two fiddling about.
Yeah.
Should probably proceed with caution, and you first. He backs away.
And just ahead of him, as he's talking to PK, the rhythmic metal hammering sound of foot plates stepping ahead as N16 turns this way and that, searching for bodies, traps, anything more mundane that can be seen or found.
And it looks clear. There's if any with out here on the catwalk, if there were any booby traps or tripwires or anything, it would be pretty easy to yeah, it's ridiculous. I hate fucking scanners.
Realistically, it like gives a boost to like searching for things, but man.
Well, when we first played this, we did the sorry, tangent. We did the tutorial campaign thing, and one of the parts in that was like, hey, you take a speeder around and go to this other town or whatever, and you get ambushed. But my brother's like, I am monitoring this, like, he was always on his scanner. So it was like, unless I, did something crazy, there's no way to ambush somebody that's constantly monitoring for life signs in a 1.5 kilometer radius.
You encounter a sniper that targets solely hand scanners.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't. There's no booby traps or anything at this point.
Yeah, just gonna approach the workshop then from the catwalk, and V3 is kind of patched in to N16's comm, so like I imagine a little, almost like a found footage, monitor up on the shuttle or something like that.
Yeah,
the data pad.
You're doing the Ripley thing in Aliens. You're just watching
exactly.
everybody's head cams.
Yeah, you got it.
Coming up to the door, you see that there is no like computer panel, it does have a mechanical lock.
Not for long, it doesn't.
I love our group.
Does it sound like, from what N16 can perceive, that there's like movement inside already?
If he's patched into N16, he probably heard Toll mention that there is movement and stuff going on.
Yeah, there's there seems to be movement on the inside. It's nothing that would be loud enough that you'd be able to hear from the walls. It's a pretty sturdy building. Probably not necessarily made for to reduce noise, but at the same time, you know, it's a workshop, so there's a certain amount of noise reduction that would have gone into it, just to keep from having like engine noise and stuff from the inside being too loud on the outside. But yeah, Toll would have relayed there is some movement on the inside, but no life signs.
Okay. I'm gonna see if we can't just break this mechanical lock with sheer force.
Okay. So you're gonna shoot it, punch it, twist it, slap it?
Punch it, Chewie.
Let's see if we can just kind of
Push it.
crush it. Just like break it off.
Just push it. Push it now.
I don't want to light this place up and find out that like Chadkins was behind the wall or something.
Turns out he's been blitzed out of his mind the last few weeks. Just kept ignoring phone calls.
You can always replace a lock.
Well, I mean, it's not like a padlock. Like the door has like like it's part of the door. Like a standard, like a key lock. Like it's in the door.
Yeah, punch it.
Okay. So give me a brawl check.
Okay. And V3 is gonna help with Speaks Binary, helping him calculate the appropriate angle to put his fist through this wall. What's the difficulty?
I mean, it's a melee check, so 2. You know what? I'm just gonna make it 1, because it's a door.
Okay.
So that's what's your brawn?
5.
Okay, you punch the door. There's a very loud reverberating dong, and you can see you've done a fair bit of damage to the lock, but it's still held in place fairly secure.
Does look like the kind of thing that with enough battering it might break over time.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. It's got a soak of 6 and a wound threshold of 12.
Soak of 6.
Yeah.
Does it look like something that could be like coerced to open, like via?
Yeah, you could try and pick the lock with a skullduggery check.
I think I actually have skullduggery. Let me check. Holy shit, I do.
Well, how surprised you sound.
I never look at it. So. I'm streetwise. What kind of crooked ass old man am I? All right. But yeah, how much? What's the difficulty for finagling the door open, like gently?
You sort of push N16 to the side. I got this.
Excuse me. We don't want to alert the entire planet to our whereabouts.
Sort of kneeling down a little bit because in your age you've learned bend at the knees, not at the back.
I still haven't learned that.
He squats down, you hear cracks and pops all over him.
So being Moncal, you probably have more cartilage. Anyway.
Unless it's gross popping instead, it's like wet.
You see that this is actually a pretty decent lock. It's going to be a daunting skullduggery check, 4 difficulty. With the damage that has been done to it, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a setback on that.
Okay. Let's see.
You've got 4 light side points, by the way.
Nah, if like there had been no loud noise prior, I would consider using a light side point, but now it's just kind of like trying to do the easy way of opening the door instead of being quiet. Fuck.
Okay, you start fiddling around with a hair tie that you had for some reason. And you're like, this is not the way to do things. You fiddle around with the lock for probably a good 10 minutes before giving up, making no progress on getting it unlocked. Though you do have an advantage and a triumph if you would like to do something with those.
Could my finagling of say that messed up the lock just enough to make it a little easier for him to bash it open without going pang, pang, pang for an hour and a half?
Yeah, I will say you looking at the lock and sort of fiddling around with it, you get a better idea of its like how it works, like the structure, what you know, the systems involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's just like point out a weak spot in the thing itself. So.
Yeah, and I'll let if you're gonna keep basically whoever wants to do whatever action next for the rest of the encounter with this door, we'll upgrade checks, whatever you guys decide to do. So if you want to continue to pick the lock, you'll have an upgrade to that, or if you want to bash it in, you'll have an upgrade to that as well. If you want.
We're just gonna shoot it now.
Okay.
Shoot right here.
Had enough of this damn lock.
Door, the arch nemesis of adventurers.
Yep.
Fuck you, door.
Just kicks it off the hinges and shit.
Well,
Yeah,
soak of 6.
Yeah. Way more than enough to shoot through the lock. You turn around to tell N16, I think I found, and you just see him standing there with his big gun, charging up a single shot to go through this. Oh, and you just kind of jump out of the way real quick.
Jump,
flashes,
dives out of the way.
Sparks. You can see there's a sizable dent where the lock is. It did not penetrate the whole way through the door, but the lock is thoroughly destroyed. The door is no longer unlocked, but it is not an automated door. So I will need a hard athletics check to push this door open. I don't think that'll be a problem for some of you.
That's not my domain. Help yourself.
Athletics. You said hard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
3 purple. V3 sort of slings the, or N16 slings the Gatling gun and walks over and jams his hands like along the edge of the door, and you can see the door itself like has a little bit of indent just from where his fingers went in, and slowly slides the door open. You can see inside the shop. It's a mess, the same as outside. Even more so, actually. This being his workshop. You can see at the far end of the room, sort of surrounded by a bunch of other junk, is a small hammock hanging between two kind of rusted out, looks like some sort of shield generator posts, older shield generator posts from some sort of fairly large ship. And standing in the middle of the room is a sort of a gunmetal gray protocol droid. He stands and turns to face you guys. Sorry, droids. Please halt. I regret to convey that we are currently closed. If you are customers, please come back once Chatikins has returned triumphantly from his mission. But if you are going to stay, I'm afraid that I will have to institute security protocol C39-2, and we do not want to have that happen. I've been told that it's quite intimidating and deadly.
It's a real shame that not all droids are as intelligent as V3.
Though I must admit, and he looks around and you can see there's amidst the rest of the junk, there seems to be two other droids that have been smashed to pieces. Looks fairly recent, just judging by the scorch marks on them. They seem to have been some sort of combat model, though it looks like they were probably pieced together and sort of ad hoc turned into combat droids, mostly with melee weapons. You can see like the where there would have been arms, there's like vibro blades on them. And he looks down at those, and I mean, it hasn't turned out quite as well as I had hoped before, but this time will be different. And then his lights wink out for a moment. He's like, oh no, the lights have gone out again.
Faulty wiring, excellent. As much as it fills me to the brim with fear that you might release this thing upon us, we're just merely looking for the proprietor of this establishment. We're to understand that he hasn't been here in quite some time.
Yes, well, I really can't speak to that, though I have been told I am not to allow anyone into the shop, so if you do not leave, I will have to initiate the defense protocol with the assistance of my friends here. And you can see, like, sort of out of different corners of the shop, a few different very small droids, mostly like there's little shitty pit droids come out. A couple of them have like little, what's the word I'm looking for? Little pieces of metal, like fashioned into like shivs. And then there's a few like hovering. It looks like they're cleaning bots that have some sort of sprayer hanging underneath them. There's about 4 of them in total that sort of come out from around various nooks and crannies.
He'll just kind of lift his hands up in the air like a surrender style. Say, whoa, whoa, whoa. No need to get violent. We simply mean to find your owner. If he's the one that told you to not to let anyone in the shop, I must assume that he left under his own volition then, yes?
Well, yes, but that was when I still had, the guys that were actually meant for this job.
What do you mean?
Well, I really don't know if I should be talking about these things. I'm supposed to make sure no one else comes in.
Well, to be quite fair, we are within the bounds of your code there, as we are not inside the store yet. I'm talking to you from the outside, so we can still make amiable means. Absolutely. I'm just merely trying to converse with you.
Go ahead and make a charm check.
My Jehovah's Witness training is coming full force.
Difficulty on this,
6 reds, 4.
it's going to be 1 purple.
Really?
Yep.
Alright, 1 purple. I get 2 boosts from talents and things like that, and all that good business. Let's make sure to click off so it actually saves that. Yeah, there we go. I'm his best friend now.
Yes, that is an excellent point, and I guess as long as I'm following the protocol, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with someone who's following the letter of the rules, I guess.
Yeah, see? We can be friends after all. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Tol Pujek, it's nice to meet you. You don't have to come over closer for a handshake or anything. I understand where you're coming from. We just want answers. That's all.
Oh, okay. I am RT3PO. I am a droid.
I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Chadikins he brought me on board to help run his shop and assist with negotiations and translations when dealing with other sentients. Though I had no idea this job would end up being so dangerous.
I definitely feel your pain there. He looks between N16 and Skull Kid for a moment. I like to think he actually laughs. But I must ask, what were the circumstances that you last saw Mr. Chadikins on his leaving anyway? Was he accompanied by some quote-unquote friends, or...
Oh no, they
was
were
he perhaps
definitely
being-
not friends. I must admit, after the fighting initially started, I was knocked down and had a slight malfunction with my
eyes?
Yes, that. So I did not witness the entirety of the situation, though. There were several gentlemen that came in inquiring to Chadikins, and I was in the back room. I did not come out until after I heard some struggle. But they took out the combat droids that he had made. It was horrible. There was fluids and sparks, and the dismembering that occurred was horrifying.
Up into the dismembering bit, it sounded like my first wedding night.
Fun.
Your vision went out, so I assume there's no visual recordings of the happenings. Could we perhaps get an inkling of the audio? Of what
Well,
occurred?
Chadikins recently installed a hollow recording suite to monitor what was happening in the facility. if you could come in, I would let you use it. Unfortunately, I'm not supposed to let anyone in.
I understand that, of course, of course. Just let me work my lawyer laws for a second, real quick. How to word it. Well, I understand that you're not allowed to let anyone onto the premises, but perhaps you could work out something in that we are trying to find your proprietor. I'm sure you wish to see him again, or at least leave this place at some point in time, but if he never returns, then I'm afraid you're stuck here with your two, friends. We're quite adept at looking through records and stuff like that. If we could just catch a glimpse, figure out his conditions, we'll be able to do our best to bring him back. He's one of our business partners, so it's quite in our interest as well.
What business have you had with him? Who are you, like, are you working for yourselves, or?
We're freelance, yes. Yeah. He pats Skull Kid. I believe he had a deal with a V3, our little droid friend, over parts and such.
Oh, is this V3 standing very ominously beside you?
Oh no, V3SC is on the ship over there. This is our different creation of V3s in 16. Say hello in 16.
Hello.
Guten Tag.
And 16's German.
And V4 is French. Now. Sacre bleu. Yes. Mere moments we should be able to comb the records and see if we know the person that dragged our dear friend Chattikins off.
And you're not...
If you allow us, of course.
Well, if you're friends of his, I guess there's probably not a problem with it, though do be mindful of the state of the shop. He's very particular about where things are located, so very well. I will not initiate security protocol C31-12.
Excellent. The moment he agrees, he just barges on in, strolls in. Come on in, guys. Now, would V3 need some kind of physical connection to the recording systems, or is he able to do that remotely through N16?
He could guide N16, but there'd be some that would basically it's not.
Well, V3 is going to come out once it's clear that there's no traps. This place isn't set to blow or something.
Yeah.
As soon as V3 enters the room, you hear ticking. Yes, I'm sorry that I can't give you any more information than I've got, but I can give you access to his video holo feed for the event. If you would like, that may give you some more details.
We'd very much appreciate that, yes.
He goes over.
Perhaps.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
He goes over and punches in some stuff on a computer terminal that's off to one side, sort of in the middle of the room, but along the wall. And you can see, especially for UV3, looking at the terminal, you can see it's older, but it looks like there's been some fairly recent modifications to it to sort of upgrade its systems a bit. And it's it looks like he's added some extra security features, like the looking around the room. You see like the holo cams, the recorders. They seem to be fairly recently installed as well. But after a few minutes, he says, "There you go. It's all set up. Should take you right to when the event occurred."
Perhaps while my friend V3 looks through the records, I could take a look at the apparent loose wire in your eyes.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, well, V3 plugs into the mainframe there and gets all of his Google Docs and... Ooh, his eBay password, perfect. This fool had Amazon Prime, 1 second. Yeah, if I could, I'd like to fiddle about with fix that little loose wire he seems to have going on in his eye.
Give me a normal, average mechanics check.
Oh, mechanics? Let's see, did I invest anything in that? I did not. Here's hoping I don't make him permanently blind. Oh!
You fiddle around for a good couple of minutes with his eyes, and then after a little bit, you just sort of, through trial and error, manage to get everything connected back up. It was fairly obvious where the loose wire was, but getting to that without knocking other wires loose was sort of a hassle. So you ended up spending more time fixing the damage that you had originally done before you got it all done.
A lot of camera 1 or camera 2, which one's better?
V3?
Yes.
He's already got the security footage pulled up for you to watch. If you want to try and dig into anything else while he's distracted, then we could do a computers check. But if you just want to watch the video,
We'll start with the video.
okay. Watching the video, you see Chatikins, who you recognize, a short, bat-looking fellow. Seems to be working in his room. On a table behind him, you see the statue sort of standing up, like inside a carrying case. Like he's getting ready to move it or something, or take it somewhere. When all of a sudden, you see 5 guys come into the room. Shoot the combat droids. Like as soon as they walk in, they immediately blast those combat droids, and then grab Chatikins and the statue, and then turn and try and they look around the room. They see a couple of the holocams and take them out, and you see like the footage sort of go dark from different angles. Like the holo system sort of like blanks out, but there's still enough of them left. As they leave the room, they turn and scan it one more time, but some of the holocams were in their haste, they did not get. switching to a outside view, you see about 30 of these same guys all together climb into various vehicles parked right outside and take off. All of them, like, they were all wearing like different outfits, but they all had the same like patch in various spots. Usually, like, a lot of them had like a jacket, sort of like an armored, like a heavy armor like coat, with a logo on the shoulder that would look like 3 overlapping hexes. Like, sort of at the corners, like they were overlap. You know what I don't know.
Can V3 make any kind of research roll to identify what that means?
Go ahead and give me go ahead, give me a hard streetwise check. Yeah, we'll stick with that.
All right, streetwise. I am not wise of the streets.
But he is on the sheets.
Wow, 3 threat.
His head explodes.
I don't think there's anything I can really do with well, you can't identify for sure what this is. You're pretty sure that it's some sort of paramilitary group from off-planet.
What's Gank doing while Toll's fiddling with the droid and V3 staring intently at a hologram?
So far, not much.
Are you watching the hologram with V3?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. You also give me a for you. This is going to be a normal streetwise check with considering your past. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a boost on there.
Hey, boost.
You recognize the logo as a mercenary outfit run by a gentleman by the name of Wrecker. You seem to recall that he's a fairly amicable gentleman to work with and enjoys dealing with people who like to ask him questions.
He enjoys having questions.
You just remember him being a friendly guy. Like that's sort of like you're like, that's a mercenary outfit run by a guy named Wrecker. I remember like a lot of people say, you seem to recall that people really liked him. He seemed like a friendly guy. That is what you recall.
All right, that's what I recall.
V3 will search, known databases available to him about this Wrecker, news articles or anything else he can think of pulling up.
Go ahead. Give me, so you're looking what, like on like public networks?
Public networks, and he's accessed the Imperial databases before. Could he try to access those again for any private records that the Empire might have on these people? Previous encounters, maybe?
From here, you really wouldn't have access to except for downloaded stuff.
Yeah.
We'll consider that.
Maybe if he gets their access to like an Imperial source of information.
Go ahead and give me a average computers check, just to browse the like public network sort of thing.
All right, computers, not knowledge.
Yeah, you're actually like you're browsing like IMDb or whatever, Internet Mercenary Database.
A million success.
You know this dude's social security number.
As previously stated by Skull Kid, the symbols belong to Wrecker's mercenaries. They're a regional mercenary group with a reputation for annoying Imperial and Hutt authorities to a lesser extent, with sort of going over the top with their operations. They have a tendency to skirt the laws, even Hutt laws, which says something. They're an officially recognized mercenary group, and there's a lot of like sort of accusations of them, doing blatantly unlawful stuff. They haven't been disbanded. There's rumors that they have the backing of somebody powerful that's keeping them sort of operational. They haven't been involved in any sort of kidnappings or ransomings before, though. That's not really their jam. They're historically a combat-focused mercenary group.
Okay. While V3 has he's plugged into Chadkin's terminals and networks, he's going to see any communication leading up to this, any events leading up to this that are on the logs.
Go ahead, give me a hard computers check.
Okay.
It's not so much that he's got a good security setup on his systems, as much as it is just the amalgamation of a bunch of different systems all slapped together in a very haphazard way and a very esoteric filing system has made finding any specific information on his computer system much harder than it should be. Like, this is the best security that you've run into, and it's totally accidental. You are able to find, he did recently, you're unable to get the details because it's all lost and scattered throughout all his weird filing system stuff. He did recently, again, you're not able to get like the specific details, but there is a fairly large deduction from his account, though you're not able to find what it was for or who it went to. But you sort of find his, not access to his accounts or anything where you could steal his money, but sort of his financial, like his...
bank statement?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And there's like a fairly large payment that he made to someone in the last month or so.
And these 30 guys that kind of grabbed him, they piled into a ship?
It was several vehicles outside.
Oh, vehicles, that's right.
Yeah. Land speeders, a couple of like trucks. They seemed
Okay.
to be like... not necessarily like hardcore military like tanks or anything like that, but they were definitely like up armored sort of civilian stuff.
And in any of the records that we know about, are they beyond this planet, or are they local just to here?
They're local, just to around here.
Okay. So then he's probably still on this planet at least. Or at least that's where they took him. Is there like a major city or hub near to Chadkin's workshop?
Yeah, the original city that you guys landed in when you had first come here, Rorak City. That's maybe a good 20-minute drive via, land speeder. Probably a little bit less if you were to take the shuttle out there.
Taking the shuttle.
Yep. I think it's time to depart for the city.
Before you go, I just... One more thing, if you do manage to find him, he does have a tracking device, but unfortunately he needs to activate it, and he has not done so. If you were to activate that, it would send a signal back to here and to, he looks down at the busted security droids, to the security droids to come and rescue him.
That draws V3's interest, and he'll kind of look over at one of the scrapped security droids and kind of bend down to open up the maintenance panel, and he'll start digging around to see if he can't find what looks like the kind of wiring expected for receiving a distress signal or something like that. His goal is to find something that he can reverse engineer and use their tracker, like whatever would draw them. If he could, I don't know, activate it from this end. That's his goal.
From the description that you got, he needs to physically activate it. It's not sending it's not set up to receive signals or anything. But you could reverse engineer the communications, like you could make something so that instead of the signal coming back here, you could intercept the signal yourselves if it gets activated.
Okay, he'll do that.
Go ahead and give me a hard mechanics check. Sort of reverse engineering this.
The triumph is I found Chadkins.
Yeah, he's in the droid. You found him.
Okay, pull him out like a baby.
Like, it's a homing device, so maybe you could ping the device that it's attached to?
It's got to be turned, like it physically has to be turned on from the other end.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
Yeah. You do manage to sort of cobble something together so that you can intercept that signal should it go off. The Triumph, if you want to add something to the little tracking device. Turn it into a single-use flashbang or something.
So I've taken this kind of tracking device out of the droid, now I have it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah, maybe I turn it into like a single-use EMP grenade or something like that.
Okay.
Discharge all the energy all at once.
Works for me.
Then I'll go ahead and give that to N16. And then, yeah, it sounds like we're all going to pile into the shuttle and pick up the trail in the city.
Okay. Any other last minute stuff you guys want to do here?
I'm kind of curious. No, probably not.
Oh, what is it, buddy? Come on.
What's up?
Well, I'm not very attuned with it, but I was thinking about something like force, but I'm not like, I don't have like force sensibility. Since, what we're doing is trying to track down Chadkins, but this, not only him, but this artifact he had.
I consistently forget that you have force points.
I consistently don't think about it myself.
And you gave me crap for forgetting that I had street pies.
Of course I did. That's what I do. I give people crap.
You had skullduggery. What kind of idiot are you? Oh yeah, I have force powers. Ooh. I forgot I was a space wizard.
Well, you do know that my space wizardry is more about hurting people than it is about sensing shit, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there was when you first got here, there was a slight unease, but it wasn't really anything like super noticeable because you were going into a potential combat situation anyway, so you don't really chalk that up to anything beyond just pre-combat nerves, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Heading to the city?
I'll make sure to thank the protocol droid for his time, of course. Thank you very much for allowing us and being so amicable towards our needs. Make sure to fix the door and lock it behind us so that bad people don't come in. Who knows?
Yeah, make sure bad people can get in.
Yeah.
It's not like we're, notorious at all.
You know, I just realized I was looking through my notes and I actually had notes on the video that we do something about. Statue, Chatter Fan, Crystals, Foremost, New Kachidi, and Sale.
Oh. And he's at it again. Genie top fire over here.
Okay.
Oh, let's try by fluting.
If you guys are gonna land in the city, you're gonna need to land at the spaceport.
Oh no. Okay.
Coming in to the open spot, one of the landing area that you're directed to, you step out of the vehicle and older Rodan walks out. Yeah, okay. That'll be 100 credits for the docking fees and refuel. I hope you're not in a hurry. I have unfortunately lost my assistant here recently. Several months ago, actually, though time flies. But yes, we will get you fixed up and 100 credits when you return before you leave. Thank you.
What was did we see insignias on the wrecker crew?
Yeah, it was like a triple hex.
Why, certainly. I'll go ahead and take care of that now and make sure we get good service. But I must ask you, any slides over a credit stick with 200 credits on it? Have you, by chance, had any recent development of someone coming along with a triple hex insignia, say? Or perhaps a person of particular interest?
He takes the credits right away, puts them in his pocket, and he starts like fidgeting with one of his little ear stalks. There's triple hex, you say? It sounds familiar. You'll have to excuse me. The memory's not what it used to be. I believe there's
I pick up my E11 noisily.
I'm sorry, son. What was that over there?
Steen starts flexing in the back.
I've seen them around. I believe they make their mostly hanging about the old metalworks factory. It's been shut down for a number of years. My friend Dormaskar used to work there. He was quite a decent fellow, though when it shut down, he found himself without work, and I believe his wife ended up doing some hauling work for someone in the corporate sector, though. She was a fine lass, but once she started making all the money, I think the power balance in the relationship kind of went south. She ended up spending more time from home, and she met up with a kind of a jerk of a fellow named, what was his name? It doesn't matter. I believe it was Joshua, but it doesn't matter. But she ended up leaving my friend, and he was never quite the same sense. And then, but once he was single, he started spending his money on various, midlife crisis. Bought himself a very fancy XJ 47 speeder. Souped it up. It was a fancy car, but didn't really suit him. But it was a nice car. It was fun to ride with him once in a while in my youth. But
Sure.
yeah, yes. Sorry, were you asking a question?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're killing me. I'm terribly sorry about Joshua and Dormascar's situation. How recently would you say that you've seen them last come through here? Toll is inside his mind pondering what the end of the N16's gun barrel would taste like. But alas.
They don't come around here too often. They have their own facilities out at the metalwork shop since it closed down. There's they have their own area for landing their ship out there. Fairly sizable because of hauling the metal from the metalworks factory back and forth, but it's been shut down for a few years now. My friend God, I can't remember his name. My friend Joshua used to work there many years ago before it shut down.
Dormascar, you mentioned
yes,
him,
Dormascar, yes. He left.
Could you?
Yes.
Kindly, before I jump into the nearest vat of acid, could you point us into the nearest direction of the metalworks factory that you mentioned?
I would not just walk up to them.
Of course not.
I would arrange a meet. You're liable to get shot on sight. I do know a gentleman that may be able to assist you, though. He is going to charge for his services. But if you're going to head that way, why don't we go ahead and take a 10-minute break and come back so that we can go to the bathroom and smoke cigarettes.
Okay, thank God, because I thought he was going to say, I know my friend that you can ask for information. I believe his name is Dormascar. And then told to immediately dive headfirst into the nearest vat of volatile substance. This man talks more than me. He's done he has the blather talent. I thought I was only one. I take 3 strain damage from the conversation, but we have some useful info.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. Let's go.
10-minute break. We'll come back meeting the contact.
All right, buddy.
figured with it being close to noon and you jabbering away, it was safe to sneak away for a cigarette.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Welcome back.
Um, just I don't know if Toll's back yet, but the guy that DeHong sends you to asks for 100 credits, and he will get in contact with Wrecker for you.
Sounds feasible.
So you pay him. He says he'll get in contact through his people and have Wrecker contact you guys.
So we're just waiting to hear back from him?
I wasn't sure if anybody had like paid him or whatever, just making sure you guys weren't gonna like, you know, fuck that, and punch him in the face, you know. I never know with you guys, you know.
Well, that person's gone.
Yeah. Because it never escalates to violence since Rin left. Never. Okay, yeah, you guys, you can just hang out at one of the local cantinas or taverns, taking a show at one of the various places around. Most of the eateries and stuff, if you picture like your typical like you know, bazaar or a street market, that's sort of a big chunk of the area that you guys are in. But after a little while, communicator beeps. Whoever wants to take it, whoever the...
Woo.
Woo.
Take it.
Gank, you taking it?
Yep.
Taking? What are you taking?
This is SK. Gank.
Yeah, this is Wrecker. I heard you were looking for me.
How have you been, Wrecker?
It's not time for pleasantries. So, you got some questions you want to ask?
We're interested in finding the whereabouts of one Chattykins.
Well, doesn't sound like anything we were involved in, but, maybe some things that we can discuss. Tell you what, wire me 600 credits. Meet me at the metalworks, I'll give you directions, and we can discuss things from there. Or you can just pay me when you get here. But I'm telling you now, if you show up and you don't have that money, it's gonna be a problem.
Let me see. Yeah, I'll wire to him.
Okay. You hear a little blip on his end. Excellent. Man of my word. Here's directions to the metalworks. My guys, bring you in, we can have a discussion. Bloop. Hangs up. The metalworks
was
is
rather brief.
The metalworks is on the outskirts of the town, so you can, take a cab, get there. It'll probably take you like 2 minutes via like ground car. Probably like a 20-minute walk.
Walk it.
V3 will remain at the shuttle, but he will send V4 to accompany PK.
Is it just PK and N16 then? There's Toll going too.
Do they want me to go?
Do you want the two trigger happy ones to go do this, or do you want to come along?
I'll go along.
I'm gonna do another rewiring of N16 for combat optimization.
Yeah. I've been staring at a terror striker for a while. Due for a new character. Toe will go. True.
Alright, we'll optimize to agility now. For this encounter, at least.
And with that triumph, I'm gonna go ahead and give you boosts on any agility checks that you make for this next encounter.
Great.
Unless you have something else that you would like to do with that triumph.
No, I think that's great.
All right. As you sort of come up to the fairly large metalworks facility, you follow the directions, unless you decide otherwise, that Wrecker had given you. As you approach, it's sort of downslope a little bit. You can see there's a fairly large, like fenced-in area around the facility itself. It looks like there's 4 ways in. The direction that he gave you is basically right up front. You can see that there's even from this distance, you can see there's guards posted at all of the entrances, but there's 5 guys at the one that you were directed to.
All right.
You can see most of the guards that you see outside are Toydarian. So they're kind of hovering around. They've got some heavier weapons, like blaster rifles that they're carrying around. As you approach, one of them flutters up. Hey, what are you doing?
Tell them I'm there.
All right, we were expecting you. Let me confirm. Let's see. Let me check your identity sticks there, buddy.
Identity stick?
Yeah, he just wants to check your ID.
Give him the ID.
All right, that's good. You're who you say you is. You're not cops or anything. That's fine. All right, follow me. I'm just gonna go ahead and... What's that?
Oh, nothing.
The Toydarian mercenary flies quickly ahead of you, motioning for you to keep up. You enter one of the massive lattice-like structures through a pair of once elegant doors embossed with the metalwork's royal seal. You hear people barking orders ahead of you. A bit further inside, you pass through a basket-weave metal tunnel, which opens to an enormous room about 200 meters long and half again as wide. The room houses a number of large industrial machines. In addition, there seems to be many dozens of mercenaries working out and training in groups throughout the room. Some squads are rappelling down from above or climbing irregular structures. Toydarian trainers hover around their non-flying charges, yelling a familiar collection of insults, encouragements, and instructions to those struggling to complete their climb. It's kind of like you're basically in the middle of a big industrial old factory. They used to make various different it's the metalworks factory, so it's a lot of generic like metal objects, but they also did some statues and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of like half finished looks like hut statues, a lot of hut like architecture. There also seems to be a lot of what would probably have become slave pens, considering the location. Your guide eventually takes you over to one of the large industrial machines, where a group of officers watches while it works. It's incredibly loud and clearly in need of maintenance. As you approach through a scratched safety window on the machine, you see it bending bars, weaving cables, and welding plates, guided by a nearby industrial artisan droid. A scarred Toydarian male with a general's rank insignia says to you, "Hold up, it's nearly done!" A moment later, the machine grinds to a halt. The window rises and a massive metal plate slides out to display an intricate sculpture featuring a stylized version of the Wrecker's Mercs symbol. The mercenaries roar in approval, and the scarred Toydarian orders it packed up and taken to a large transport ship in the rear of the complex. Then he turns to you and says, "I'm Wrecker, mercenary lord, and now, it seems, occasional information specialist. I believe you have a lot of credits for me."
Hmm?
Though I guess you did already pay me, so
Yes, I
we'll
was
see how
curious.
that goes.
Can certainly respect a businessman.
So what can I do for you? I'm Wrecker. Leader of Wrecker's mercenaries.
Oh.
And I'm fucking Toydarian.
I love this guy already. I really do.
I'm not surprised.
I believe we're here. I believe my friend here, Skokid, already informed you of our reasons for trying to contact you, and it was in regards to a certain Tragifan fellow named Tadjikins? Chadrikin?
Caddy kittens.
Chatty Kittens? I don't know. By the way, I am Tolpil Jack. It's wonderful to meet you. And he extends his hand out to him.
Yeah, he shakes your hand. I think we've already established I'm Wrecker.
Quick question.
Yeah.
The needle glove. Are people aware if I use it? Like, say, if I were to inject him with something?
He would probably notice. I would imagine there'd be
I will not do that then. So, part-time information broker, at least of today. Do you know anything of the whereabouts of Mr. Chadikins?
Yeah, I might have had something to do with that.
He looks to Skull Kid. 'Cause I know that he was talking to Skull Kid. He said that he didn't have anything to do with it, but only Skull Kid was in on that call. So it would be wonderful if you were to give us any kind of information as to his whereabouts. We are in desperate need of conversing with this fellow.
All right, ask your questions.
That was the question, is where is he that we might converse with him?
I don't know where he's at.
Can I tell that he's lying?
Give me a, let's see. Where's my character sheets here? I don't remember statisticals.
What is it, a discipline?
Yeah, give me a discipline check. Difficulty on this is going to be... one yellow, or I'm sorry, one red, 3 purple.
Let's see. 1 red, 3 purple. Let me make sure of something here, because I can't remember precisely what Nobody's Fool does. Let me just check real fast.
It upgrades the difficulty to lie to you.
So it's only when someone's trying to tell if I'm lying? One second. I'm trying to see if it works the other way as well.
It's,
I believe it does. No, just when they're lying to you.
Oh, I see. A lot of the Politico stuff I notice is effective when the other person is rolling. That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
okay.
I can start rolling for their stuff, but it's hard because it's like, okay, I'm gonna roll a discipline deception check. You know?
Yeah, that would be the thing. Is like he would have to be the one rolling a deception check.
But then the problem is, even if I just say, hey, I'm gonna roll to see if you believe him or whatever, like, if I roll deception, then it's like, you guys know that he's lying.
Oh, yeah.
Or I just have to roll every time somebody gives you information and just decide whether it's, deception or charm or whatever. And then it's like, oh, do I have to upgrade this because he's lying? So it's just, I like...
Oh, Jesus, I failed the shit out of it.
Tordarians are a notoriously hard to read species and very good at negotiating because of that. So, though I will say, with the advantage, he does seem rather at ease with the situation. So, he's either not lying or extraordinarily comfortable with lying. But either way, he's hard to read.
Well, you say you had nothing to do with the Chadigan's abduction, and you're not certain of his whereabouts.
Yeah, I said that when we were talking over communicator. I don't know who's on the other end of those things. You think this is my first day?
Well, I do have it on good authority that you might have some information on it, but I wouldn't disrespect you in such a way as to simply call you on that, of course. It's just merely following a trail, trying to find our Chadrican friend in order to attain a business deal, as he does owe us a substantial quite sum. We would be happy to tie you in, of course.
I'm not here to, like, try and make some kind of deal that's not gonna happen for, like, months. Alright? Your two questions that you asked. Did we have anything to do with it? I said yes. You asked me where he's at. I said I don't know.
So you had something to do with it, but you don't know where he is.
Correct.
That's a fascinating way to run a operation there. Do you not know what your men do?
I'll answer the next question. It's gonna cost you 50 credits. I'll give you 5 questions for 250 credits. Actually, that's not a deal, is it?
Not really.
200 credits. You'll get the fifth one free. How's that sound? 5 questions, 200 credits.
You're quite the salesman. Let me see here. Pulls out a credit stick. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he'll divvy out that 200 credits too, I'm sure.
All right, 5 questions. Question 1, go. You have my word I'll be as honest as I can be.
I'm certain. Fair enough. Who hired you to abduct our Chadrafan, then?
Don't know. Never met him in person. It was all through the Holonet. They had a voice disguiser thing. 25,000 credits is what they paid me to get the guy.
Oh, that's a substantial sum. You're making money on all ends there. I can respect that. Question out of character.
Yeah.
Was seen on the video.
Wrecker?
Like he himself. Yeah.
No.
So, let's see, question number 2. So that means that you abducted him and transferred him over to the hands of someone else, yes?
That does count as a question. Yes, we dropped him at location outside of town in the middle of the, like, outside of a little pond out there. Little boat dock thing. Used to be for fishing when there was still fish out there.
And he claimed that he didn't know who was the actual person to pay him that. He claims that it's all under the table and he didn't know who precisely.
Yep.
Look.
Credits were good. Doesn't matter who's giving them.
You guys got any ideas for another round of questions?
Hmm.
You like jazz?
How'd they contact him?
He claims it's through the HoloNet.
It's through the HoloNet. Is there a contact that can still be traced back for further communication?
Would you happen to have access to these HoloNet messages that we might figure out who it was ourselves then, since you're not amicable towards dealing with us in that information?
I can give you all the HoloNet recordings that I made. Cost you 2,000 credits.
Of course it would.
I'll even throw in,
Seeing
since you're paying me for the questions, I'll subtract the 200 that you already paid me for the questions.
Oh, since
That
you
counts
are-
as a question, by the way.
Hmm.
That's 3.
God damn, I like this guy. I'm thinking if there's 2 more questions that we could ask him, that would be worthwhile. Would Skull Kid have any particular interests that he would like to have inquired about, or like work or something, or weaponry or anything like that? He seems to be quite the dealer.
Hmm. I guess we'll go to the basis of work here. Any additional work that you as a mercenary lord cannot complete on your own, you need help with?
You looking to join? Because I don't work with freelancers. You're either a
Ask for
record
questions
mercenary
as
or
well.
you're not. That's a question, by the way.
What, you
That's
asking
4.
us a question?
No.
Charges us
Asking if
that's
you can
good.
join, that's 4.
Alright, well, that, I have to say that we have to follow your rules. That's 50 credits off of the total price for the information. since
Wasn't
you're
part of the
asking
deal,
us a
sir.
question.
If that's how you want to do things going forward, that's how we can do it.
That was established at the beginning when you said 50 credits per question.
That you ask me, not the other way around.
You didn't specify that it was us.
Nope, didn't
solely for us
specify.
to
Didn't
you
need
question.
to. It was understood. At least by me, and I'm the one making the arrangements here.
I can respect that.
You don't have a choice.
Oh, I do have a choice. There's a very large robot behind me with a Gatling gun. But,
And there's at least 50
You
mercenaries
didn't
in this
actually-
building.
we got it. It's no problem. It's, but the thing is, you didn't actually answer his question. You answered his question with the question. So, is there work that he can do or no?
The answer to that question is, I do not hire freelancers. You can look to join in my crew, or you can fuck off.
That would be a no, I suppose.
As
then,
a
Skull Kid.
side, I'll consider this part of the answer to the same question. It's probably one of the reasons I was approached for this job, was because I don't deal with outside contractors and I consider security very important.
Yeah, it's quite the entrepreneur.
It's the reason I've been so successful for so long.
Let me look up the lifespan of a toy Darien real quick. Maybe we could just wait it out.
2,000 years.
Well, like, huts can live to be over 1,000, so that's not out of the question.
I think it's probably on the low end, but probably standard, like humanoid age. I could be
Up
wrong.
to 90 standard years. Well, if there's no work, he's willing to give us the information.
One more question.
There's 2 dipshit.
No refunds, by the way.
No freelancer work. Seems like we're pretty much done here once we get the info then, huh, guys?
Seems.
Okay. Well then, final question. Business and as a businessman, surely you would see... No, that wouldn't work with this guy. Crap, I destroyed my screen. 1 second. There we go. Very well then. How much was the total amount of credits that he was asking for with the discount and everything?
For the Holovis?
1800.
1,500?
Yep.
Okay. Perhaps I could offer a few more credits in the fact that you, once we return our treasure friend to his business, you no longer interfere in his work, as we do have a business deal with this gentleman. Is that something that you'd be...
I was paid to do a job. I have no interest in messing with him beyond what I was paid to do. I did it. I got paid. As far as I'm concerned, whatever happens at this point is between him and whoever dealt with him. Unless they pay me to get him again.
That's exactly what the question was about. See, if you were paid to get him again, if I were to pay you this amount, would you agree to perhaps leave him alone on that aspect? As you've already attained him once, repeat offense wouldn't be a very wise business decision. It's just wasted expenses at that point.
Okay, that's your 5th question. And I'll tell you what. Because I like you, if I'm contacted to deal with this guy again, I'm not going to say no to the job. That would be stupid. But I'll let you know. That whatever happens at that point, nothing personal. If we're told to get this guy, like let's just say, for example, you get this guy back, take him home, and then I'm paid a significant sum of credits to get this guy again. I will let you know that I'm supposed to go get this guy. That doesn't mean if you try and get him from my guys that we're not going to have to kill you. Nothing personal. I like you. It's part of the business. But, you know.
I'm about to ask what his life insurance policy is, but I don't want to give him another 50 credits. Alright then. Head us over to get the information that we seek, and we will be on our way so you can proceed about your other pleasurable means of business, I'm sure. He pulls out the credit stick with 1,500 credits, slides it over.
For the recordings?
Yes.
It's 1,800.
The hollowed 1,800?
Yep. 2,000 minus the 200 that you already paid for the questions.
Alright. That's bad math on my part. Alright. Deal. Mildly tempted to see if I could, like, put 1 credit on the stick and see if he'd make it fake. It's alright, let's get the fuck out of here. But I don't think you can tamper with credit sticks like that, so, nah. 1,800 credits here.
It's extraordinarily difficult.
Yeah.
And carries with it severe repercussions if you're caught.
I'll make a note to myself. Mental notes. Have V3 make us a bunch of fake credit chips. Okay. Sure. Here's 5 million credits. No problem. All right then. Here's your credits. I'm sure it'll be spent wisely.
All right. The same Tordarian mercenary that escorted you inside of the building. Come on, follow me. Let's get out of here. You guys stinking up the place. Lead you back out the way that you came.
Yeah. I'll nod my head over to Rekka respectfully, turn, and briskly walk behind the Tordarian that's leading us away.
Once you guys get outside, he stops at the gate. All right, now get out of here. You don't come back without another invite there.
Did we get the info?
Oh yeah. He transferred it over to your data pad.
Okay.
And once we have that,
I was about to say, now we have to kill him.
once we have that, V3 is going to immediately start digging into every aspect of this data to try and ping back to where it came from on the hollow web.
The recordings themselves are heavily that's what I'm looking for, obfuscated. Like the person talking has, voice modulation software. There's no visuals on it, and it's basically what you'd expect. This person contacts Wrecker, doesn't give a lot of information. They hash out a deal, 25,000 credits to kidnap this Shadrafan Chadikins. They give him the location of where he's supposed to be at, and the location that they're supposed to deliver him to, which is an old fishing dock about 20 miles outside of town. It's not a huge place, but it was industrial fishing facility. So it's not like just some wooden dock out in the middle of nowhere. It's an actual small building, and they have the coordinates and the directions and everything for that, as well as
I know the content of the message was very much hidden and obfuscated, but was V3 able to tell where it came from, or a server, or a Gmail account?
Give me
Hotmail. He's old.
Give me a daunting computers check.
Okay. Is that 4 purple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
For no reason whatsoever, do we have any kind of nuclear weapons on our ship?
We do have a bomb.
I was just curious. No reason whatsoever.
Big enough to take out part of an asteroid base.
While you are unable to get like a specific like name or location from your sort of analyzing the data involved in the communications, there are several indicators that like the actual method, like the program or whatever used for like the voice modulation to disguise the voice, as well as several of the like just the system that they use to sort of hide their location in this communication points to Black Sun. Along with that, like digging through that info, the fishing, the fishing, the dock out there by the lake, also comes up, like sort of a side search that's not directly owned, but you've dealt with Black Sun enough with enough inside information that that's owned by, at this point, a subsidiary of Black Sun. Subsidiaries might not be the right word, but you get what I mean, like a shadow company or whatever.
Yeah.
Franchise.
I'm working too much on this cyberpunk game, so.
How is it, by the way?
I mean, we haven't played yet. I'm still just putting stuff together, but I'm looking forward to it. But that's a different thing.
All right, so we know they're Black Sun, and we know this dock has some connection to them. So I suppose we'll fly the shuttle over there and pick up the trail.
Yeah. Return to the ship as soon as possible, I suppose, and get back out. Avoiding that talkative fellow at the dock as much as possible.
So you guys are heading out that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless Skull Kid wants to snipe people from the metalworks here. You feeling up to it?
Speaking my language.
I'm cool with being a spotter. Where's my binoculars? 1 second. Nah, we'll go ahead and return to the ship and head out to that location, no problem. Soon.
As you put in the sort of flight plan into the system, a message pops up saying that low altitude air travel is prohibited around the area of this lake.
What's going on? What was the message?
Around the lake where this dock is at, air travel is prohibited.
Yeah.
It has a listing of fines starting with like something like small airspeeders in the area, starting at 10,000 credits fine.
Is this like an Imperial law message, or is it like private security?
It's coming from like the local government. It's not Imperial, but it's probably got like the backing of the Hutts. It's not anything that's like, oh, you're gonna get this fine here and travel somewhere else and have to pay it. But
So Wrecker and his crew and the Black Suns, like, dropped off, walked here to pick up Chatrafan and then left? Or they just didn't give a shit about it, or they're in with the huts and could avoid the fines?
Those are all very good questions.
Mm-hmm.
To which you will have no answers.
Oh, we will, just way later.
50 credits, I can answer them.
How'd you get my number?
Ignore the alert. Land the shuttle.
Not hurting my feelings. Going down.
Alright.
As you come into the area, let me find my things here.
Oh, for a backwater trash planet, these people's business acumen is quite on point.
Where's my... Damn it. As you are approaching the area, you get a message coming in. Basically says, attention, this area is off limits to aerial travel, low altitude aerial travel. Turn back immediately or you will be fined and fired upon. Looking at the scanner, the scanner on the shuttle's not great, but it is enough. You spot. Will somebody go ahead using the scanners? Go ahead and give me a. We'll make this a easy computers check to get a reading on the scanner.
I can knock that out since.
Yeah, go ahead, somebody.
Yeah, I'll take that. You said one purple?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll test that out. I've had good luck with scanners lately.
Oh damn.
I see everything.
With the number of successes and advantages and whatnot that you got, I will say, while it appears that they are trying to sort of mask the particulars of their signal and just make it seem like a generic like system patrol ship, these are two Black Sun Kirax light starfighters.
V3, we got some of your old friends up on the heads up.
Unfortunate, but not surprising.
Wish this thing had fucking weapons.
What's that?
I said I wish this thing had weapons.
Just lean out the window.
Just have N16 climb out of a roof hatch and just start. Beep, 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 beep.
He's got mag boots, right?
I was just thinking that.
No, like mag feet. He has those, right? We went over this before, right?
Yeah, because he went out onto the outside of the spaceship several times. I do believe he does have magnum boots. Or feet, rather.
V3, what does your little analytical mind say about this situation?
So from what we can tell, there's 2 starfighters coming in there, Blackstone.
Yes.
Yep.
How far are we to landing at this place?
If you want to land at the place, you still have to go a little ways, like you're sort of entering the perimeter of the sort of no-fly zone. You can go up, like it's low altitude, so it's like picture like a dome around this lake that they have marked as off limits.
How feasible would it be to open the ramp door so that someone could fire out the back?
It's feasible. I will say, at that point, like just so that you're fully aware of the situation, you'd be using personal scale weapons against planetary scale vehicles. So even something that's relatively light, you're still going to have to do like. I think these things have an armor of 2, so you're going to have to do 20 damage just to penetrate their armor.
That's true.
So it's entirely possible that you could take them out, but it's going to be kind of a slog. And then
You'll have to make some modifications to this thing for sure.
Hull trauma also is like basically 10 wounds each, so even if you penetrate the armor, you got to do 10 more damage on top of that for it to count as damage. Though if you penetrate the armor, you can get critical hits. So it is possible, as long as you do 21 damage against these things. You've penetrated their armor and can crit, which is probably your best bet for taking something down, unless you have, something that does, planetary scale damage in your arsenal that you can shoot out. Like I think there's certain like heavy weapons like rocket launchers and stuff like that that are designed to, like, they have like breach and stuff like that. So
Can V3 calculate how hard it would be or how long it would take to just evade and fly and land at this dock?
I would say, like, at that point we're probably getting into like I'm just gonna word it like a structured encounter. You know what I mean? It would probably take you 4 rounds to get there and land.
Would it be feasible for V3 and I to slice the enemy systems and try to disable their weapons so they have to land with us? I was just glancing at the starship combat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we have starship capability on this ship or not.
Oh, fuck.
It's just a shuttle.
question.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably upgrade the difficulty, but you could certainly try. Shuttles aren't made for combat, so...
Yeah. I think that's what we'll have to try and do is, you basically use our own data pads and comm links to get into the equivalent of the Wi-Fi of their ships.
I mean, you could land outside of the no-fly area and either walk or go back and rent a ground car or something.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that might be easier and just avoid dealing with these ships for now.
Yeah. Could you contact your robots in our ship up there?
Drop a van. Just push it out the edge.
You used to grab what are those things called that like pull ships out of orbit?
Tractor beams?
Gravity well?
Gravity. Yeah, that's it, gravity well. See if you can grab a passing by asteroid to fling at them. No, but landing seems like the best course, yeah.
Yeah. We'll go back to the city, land, and suppose rent a
Swoop bikes.
A van.
Another van.
Down
So many vans. Of a fleet of vans.
Didn't you guys... Oh, never mind. Never mind.
I think we actually might have a van up on the ship.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe you guys had left it here. But I think that was something else. And I remember you guys... something else happened to What's-His-Face's starship. Isn't that right, V3?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, ask N16 where all his parts came from.
Yeah, I guess return to the city. Get van. Return in van.
Okay. Hey, it wasn't long that you guys were gone. That'll be 100 credits for the docking and refuel. This is an expensive caper.
Bleeding us fucking dry.
Oh, while we were out in town, we had talked to your friend Dormaskar. He said he would handle it for us this time.
Give me a normal deception check.
You're damn right I will. 1 second. I think... Am I a good liar? Holy shit, I am. Okay.
You're a Politico, of course you are.
I never look at my stuff. I never do.
Jesus Christ.
Christ. He pays us to park.
Well, I don't believe that Dormaskar is even alive anymore, but seeing as you've only been gone for about 20 minutes, I suppose I can waive the fee this time. So, alright, I don't even think we need to refuel, so I'm going to go back to my nap. It's a very comfortable day today. Reminds me of a time in my youth when I was still lived on Rodea, and I was very fond of a young woman named Tesselect. She was quite the beauty, very popular amongst the boys, but I managed to... and he goes on and on and on.
Skull Kid, this is not a request, it's an order. Shoot me right now.
You guys just rent a van. Luckily, Brutus has some sway here, so you manage to get the van for free when they see the symbol that the gank has from your escapades on Nalhutta. And you drive back out to the desert on a van with no name.
Driving through the desert in a van with no name.
As you approach this facility, see that the descriptions that you were given for this facility were sort of
Wrong.
leaving out a little bit of detail. There's while there is like the dock, there is also appears to be fairly recently built a fairly large, and by recent I mean like in the last couple of years, for lack of a better term, a mansion along the side of the lake. Around the lake, like while the rest of like the planet's, you know, very savanna-like, but around this lake there's it's actually fairly green, whether it's from you know, cultivation or just a natural, you know, like oasis out in the savannah. It's actually fairly well forested and rather green around this this mansion.
Ooh, it's green. I like green things.
Giggity.
What can we do with green stuff?
All along this sort of, the best way I can describe it, you're looking at sort of a cylindrical building with sort of a domed roof, with even at this distance, like you're sort of, you know, doing your best to kind of be stealthy so that you don't get seen. But there's like a road that comes out that sort of branches off from this mansion and leads out to a fairly large landing pad. Surrounding this entire area is a fairly high wall. It's mostly around the mansion. Once it gets, like, you can see, like, even between the mansion and this fishing dock facility, Gleep Glop?
Oh, it's the dice bot. It has a command to generate a random species.
Oh. Didn't know that. Around the like fishing dock facility, the wall's more like a fence. It's not as high. It doesn't seem as sophisticated as the one that's around the mansion. It seems like it's you know, facilities that were there when this dock was still in operation, and they sort of, you know, cobbled together some upgrades, but the wall around the mansion is new. Coming up, like, you can just follow the road, and it goes basically up. It splits, and then there's sort of like the main road goes to the like fishing facility, and then it branches off and goes up to a fairly massive gate in the wall to the mansion.
Nice. I like gates.
Here's hoping it's haunted. Wonder what the real estate market is like here. It's not that bad a house. Little paints, you know.
V3 is going to recommend kind of scouting around the exterior before going all the way in and seeing if they can tell any extra defenses or traps or anything else is out of the place.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. Hard difficulty, as you're sort of trying to look at stuff, but sort of maintain a low profile and while you're driving around.
Crispy, you're really gonna despise me.
Why?
Hand scanner.
What? Like you just looking for
Yeah, just life signs and things like that. Like get a general feel for how screwed we are if we just run up into it.
What's the difficulty?
For the perception check is hard. Using the scanner, you find that there are a number of life signs in the mansion. Seems to be several droids as well.
Hmm. Yeah, go ahead and do a V3 spit, and I'll alert them to that afterwards.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, add N16 to it, he's better.
Driving around using N16 to sort of scan the area, the biggest thing that you notice is along the fence line are intermittent sensors to sort of it seems to detect anyone like coming through the wall or over it. A lot of them seem kind of in need of repair, but still functional. The ones at the gate, the main gate, are pretty well maintained, but there does seem to be a pretty decent security system in place around the facility. You also see through a couple of places, like especially around like the gate that is like an actual like gate, you can see through it. There seems to be like a worn path on the other side of the wall, probably from patrols in the area.
Can we tell if any part of the gate is weaker, or you said some of it needs upkeep? Maybe one of the sensors is broken or not working as well?
There are several places where the sensors aren't working as well. It would probably be a little bit easier to sneak in there, or somehow bypass those sensors. But they do all seem to work. The fence line or the wall around like the mansion itself is pretty structurally sound. It seems like it was built with a certain amount of care. But the fence line around like the fishing, the industrial like fishing facility, further, it's like connected to the mansion, but it's down the coast a little bit from this lake. The fence line around that seems to be much more worn out. There's several places that you could probably breach fairly easily, and the sensors there are a little more spread out, and Warren.
Okay. So by the coastline, I think we'll try and find a way in there. Seems to be the weakest point.
Like by the
You sir are the weakest link.
the fishing the plant or whatever. The fishery.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Are you just driving the van through, or like how are you going about this?
No, I think we'll get out of the van and go on foot from here. Or at least V3 and his 2 droids will.
Okay. I will need everyone who is going through this, like trying to sneak in on the fishing side of things. I need a upgraded average stealth check. So 1 red, 1 purple.
We're sneaking in?
I'm gonna try.
Me trying to sneak would be suicidal. You guys go ahead and have fun with that.
Yeah, you know what? V3's gonna stay out. He'll just stay out and he'll wait for his more competent field personnel to take care of this.
So I'm sneaking in by myself into...
No, N16 will go. Yeah. And V4.
1 red, 1 purple.
You talked me into it. I'll go with Skull Kid.
No. It's okay. I'm going to separate myself from N16 and V4 a little bit.
Nice.
And it's just you two going?
The 2 droids, PK, and maybe Toll.
Nope.
I will say, if you want to use that advantage, you could give a boost if somebody else wanted to try and sneak through, as you sort of...
See, he's trying to kill me. I'm not going.
Oh, stealth is agility. I gotta roll 1 more green. I don't know if that's gonna matter or not, but...
And did you add the boosts? That's what the boosts came from, was...
No, that's from Speak Binary. How many boosts do I get?
I'm gonna say 1 for the 2 advantage. For this.
Okay. No. Nope.
How about spend a light side point to make it nighttime so he gets another boost for being dark?
I'm fine with that if that's how you guys want to do it.
It's up to y'all. That was fast, okay. Oh, Jesus.
Nope.
N16 and Skull Kid managed to like climb over this fence, sort of staying out of the range of the closest sensor. It seems to be a little bit wonky. Like you can see like a sort of a red little like LED on the side of it from the distance. But as V4 is trying to make his way over. You see the LED brighten up for just a moment, right as he's like in its path. No alarms sound or anything, but you do see off in the distance, towards like the other side of the like towards the lake, in the direction of the mansion. You see a couple of what's the word I'm looking for? Spotlights flare up in the dark, and sort of start shining around in the. They're pretty far away, so it's not anything like they're not going to be able to spot you right away. But judging by the movement and direction of these lights, it looks to be some sort of security droid force headed your direction to investigate the scanner. You have a couple of minutes before they show up to investigate the breach.
I'll hoof it to the wall.
But you guys are on the inside of the perimeter now.
We're inside the actual wall?
Yeah, on the fishery side of things.
But I thought you said there was like this mansion had like a solid wall surrounding it also.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you're heading towards the mansion then?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, give me an average, everybody. Oh, well, I guess gang's stepping away. Never mind. You guys hoof it along the wall towards the mansion. You see the wall on this side does not have the sensors on it. There's still a wall there, but it shouldn't be too much of a hassle to try and clamber over it. It's probably a good 12 feet tall though.
Okay. So that'd be like an athletics check?
Depending on how you want to go about it. If you're just trying to climb, yeah. I'm gonna say it's. I'm gonna throw in 2 setback. One for trying to climb over the wall in the middle of the night, and one because it's a fairly smooth surface that's sort of made to prevent people from easily climbing over it.
And what's the base difficulty?
Sorry, hard.
Oh, Braun, okay. Well, this should go well. This is effectively like if V3 tried it.
V4 tries to clamber over the wall. Gets a little bit off the ground and then just slides back down onto the ground. I'm gonna say take 1 wound.
All right.
You guys could assist at least if you have, one person sort of holding the other person up, I would allow an upgrade to your climbing.
No, this just isn't V4's forte. Meant for basic combat, not advanced guerrilla commando missions. Kind of makes sense that he'd have difficulty with this. How many are on the way?
Droids?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell at this point, but they're not heading your direction. You see them like off in the distance, heading from some point further down, like coastward, towards the lake, from the wall, heading over to where you guys originally came from. You guys skirted along the wall, so they're sort of going at an angle from you guys. You see, what looks to be 4 sets of lights off in the distance, now that it's dark.
Well, I suppose we'll try and circle around the inner mansion wall and try to get to the gate then. If you can't get over.
Okay, so you're heading along the wall coastwards towards the gate where the droids came out of. Sort of heading that direction, like where it looks like the droids came from. You do see that there's it looks to be like a service entrance gate. Like it's not like all grandiose like the main gate that you saw at the front. There's it's like a side entrance. Doesn't seem to be as secure as the main gate, but it is locked and you can't see through it. It's looks like it's for moving stuff from the mansion, like to the fishery.
Alright, so the main gate is locked. How sturdy of a gate is it?
It looks to be fairly sturdy. There is a terminal by the gate. And there's also like it also seems to have a mechanical aspect to the lock as well.
Yeah, we'll try and see if we can't open up through the terminal. N16 will patch in. He's not quite as skilled, but he does have V3 in his ear.
And N16 doesn't have like the slicer kit.
No, he does not.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a average computers check, but upgraded once and with one setback from not having the tool.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be a matter of taking some time. So we'll see how many successes you get, if any, to sort of get into the system before the droid patrol comes back.
The 2 boosts are from Speak Binary.
Oh, it didn't pop up and make a noise for me. I wasn't paying attention. So you guys are here huddled in the dark. N16 sort of takes out, does the RoboCop thing, and his fist bends down, like folds down, and he sticks the little robo penis into the computer vagina, and it starts flipping around. Sorry. That's how it always looked to me in Star Wars. After about 5 minutes, you hear as the lock on the door releases. It does not seem to be automated to open, though. You'll have to like push it open, but that's not a problem. It's, you know, on some fairly good hinges. Uh-oh, who'd we lose? We all still here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Inside the wall, like as you open the gate, you can see the area inside of the wall is even more green than the outside. There's actually like it's almost like a forest in here, but you can tell it's more like a garden. Like it's maintained. Like there's especially V3 with you being able to analyze, you know, the spaces of stuff and do the math for, you know, whatever. The trees are definitely not naturally like planted. They're attempts were made to make it look like a natural forest, but it is definitely planted. You can see it's even darker through the canopy of the trees now that you're in this wooded area on the other side of the wall. But not too far from where you're at, you can see the mansion out in front of you. The mansion. You can see now that you're at ground level, you can see that the sort of cylindrical building with the dome at the top is like the main portion of it, but you can see there's several like almost like outbuildings, like hallways that come out from this thing that sort of form like almost like there's long corridors of buildings that are attached to the main building that come out that you know, seem to be almost like long hallways, but they're only like one story. They're not huge, but they seem to be different wings off from the main building. So you got, here, I'm just gonna do this. So you got the main building, and then you've got several like out protrusions or whatever of the building that are on there. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you guys are sort of like coming in. And you've got the lake over here. You guys are coming in this way. You've got the main gate that you drove around. You've got the fishery off to here, and then the shitty fence like that where you guys came in.
All right, looking for
That is not
the
to scale, by the way.
Yeah, I assume. Looking for the easiest way into the main chamber of this building. It's the front door.
More than likely, the front door is going to be towards the main gate.
Do these extensions have ways in and out?
Yeah, it looks like each of the extensions, like just like looking. It's hard to tell, like especially I get V3 or N16's probably got like night vision and shit, but
Yeah.
Looking through the canopy, you can see you still have. Like, looking right on the other side of the gate, you have that path that looks like it's from patrols. But you have another path from this gate that you're standing in that goes pretty much straight ahead. It curves a little bit here and there to like wind through the forest or whatever. But that goes right up to a door that's at the end of that wing of the building.
Yeah, we'll advance on that wing and try to get in through there.
Okay. Okay. Sort of following the path along through the forest, you see there's a couple of little like fountains out there. It seems like this is somebody's like vacation home or something, like somebody very wealthy or influential. Getting up to the door, you see again another it's got a mechanical lock on it, but it also has a little terminal by the side. But as soon as you get up to it, you see that it does not appear to be locked.
Even better. We'll just stroll on in then.
Entering the area, you find yourself in what appears to be like a kitchen. Like there's cookers, like a high-end like restaurant style. Like this is not like somebody's kitchen. This is where staff would work to make food. Immediately inside of the door, you have a fairly large like walk-in freezer on one side, and on the other side is like a walk-in refrigerator that takes up a good portion of the entryway. Like you find yourself in a fairly narrow hallway. The floor is a little slick from just the overall grease of being in a kitchen. It's very well maintained, high end like kitchen, but it's still you can't really escape that kind of thing, no matter how many droids you have cleaning your facility. Unlike the Desire, there doesn't seem to be a continual stench from some weird stain on the ground, so that's nice. There does seem to be, like, looking in, like, the freezer and the refrigerator, there does seem to be an inordinate amount of fish. Seems whoever's house this is enjoys their fish.
All right, one metallic step ahead of the other. N16 is going to keep hulking forward, the large Gatling gun kind of swaying back and forth.
And as you're coming through, like, once you get past the kitchen, like, the two freezers when you first get inside, at first you have to walk, like, single file. Like, it's pretty narrow. But once you get into like the actual area, past the freezers, it opens up a little bit. There's a couple of like tables in the middle of the room with various cooking stations and stuff along the rest. You can see it continues down, and then there's another door at the opposite end.
All right. N16's kind of has this optic nerve that attaches to the Gatling gun up to one of his, cybernetic eyes, and scanning around for the obvious traps. But otherwise, we'll continue passing in through. V4 kind of following somewhere behind with the E11 raised up, watching behind them.
Gank, you're going along with all this? Skull Kid?
Yeah, I'm going along with it.
Okay. As you guys are making your way through, V3 and Toll, you guys are still out in the van?
Yeah.
Not if these droids are gonna head in their direction.
Okay.
If it looks like the patrol is going to go beyond their little fence and go towards the van, or they spot the van, then I think we'll take off.
Okay, yeah, you do see, like, if you're staying outside where the other guys, like, climbed in, you do see the lights of these patrol droids, and I'm assuming that between you having a pretty much direct connection to the N16 and communications and stuff, you would know that this patrol's headed your way. You do see the lights heading up to that spot, and one of them, oh yeah, well, it's not really telepathic, it's just heavily encrypted communications software. Yeah, using it's hard to tell from your side of the wall, but they apparently have some sort of like low power, like repulsor tech on the like jetpacks or something, but not anything that's going to allow them to, do too much crazy stuff. With it's fairly standard with anything dealing with Toydarians that a lot of their stuff's going to have some flight capabilities, especially if they're worried about other Toydarians getting involved. They have to be able to chase them when your entire species can fly. But one of them sort of hovers up and starts shining a spotlight around the area. I'm assuming you guys pulled the van around and like hid behind a rock or something.
Yeah, definitely trying to stay away from these patrols for sure.
After a few minutes of them sort of scanning around, you see the lights, on the other side of the wall, like looking around the area, and eventually the lights go out for most of them. One of them still seems to be doing a scan as they head back towards where they came from. You guys in the building go the rest of the way through that hallway. The sort of kitchen wing opens up into a fairly lavish dining room that seems to be the other chunk of that extension off the main building. It's pretty lavishly decorated. A lot of art on the walls, along the walls as well. There's several pedestals with busts or other sculptures along the way. And you can see at the other end of this room, it's not like a door, but like a fairly large archway that seems to go out into like the main part of the building. Out there, the lights are lit up. You can see in the middle of the room is a fairly large fountain. Water cascading down at the top is some sort of Toydarian noble. It's not anything that's immediately recognizable or anything, but standard fare for rich Toydarians to have around. Probably some noble family member in the past or something like that they venerate.
So we're in the main chamber now, the main building.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you come into there, you sort of find yourselves in the middle of this room. There's a set of stairs that leads up. Like you see off to the right is what appears to be like the main entrance. You see like a hallway that leads out that would have been the direction of like the main gate. And then you have like the fountain. There's like some sitting areas and stuff like that around here, but it's mostly seems to be like just a fairly large like foyer, like the vast majority of this area. And then to the opposite side of the entrance is some stairs that go up and then branch around that seem to go up to the second level and into various like a hallway that sort of goes around. Standing fluttering at the top of the stairs is regally dressed Toydarian with two fairly scary-looking combat droids beside him. They're standing at the top of the steps, and he's sort of hovering there. Oh, I see we have guests! And that's where we're going to end the session today.
Cool. Good cliffhanger.
Yay, cliffhanger.
Before we murder them all.
Wrecker pops his head around the corner. What? Guests?
That'll be 50 credits!
Yeah.
Alright, 10 experience for everybody. Bear, I don't think we had anything really happen that would have affected your, good guy score or not, so I'm not gonna bother rolling that if that's okay with you.
That's fine. Yeah, like, nothing else really going on at the moment, yeah.
When we go back and slaughter that metal factory, you'll have to roll some conflict.
We'll see what happens next session, because yeah, this is this is where things get complicated.
Nice.
Complicated.
Why do you have to go and make things so complicated?
All right. And I apologize for any wonkiness. It is difficult sometimes to fit pre-published adventure modules into an existing campaign, so
Yeah, it sounds hard.
Is that what's going on here? Nice.
yeah. Well, hopefully it goes better than when I tried to do it before with Nal Hutta, where it was like, oh, there's 6 guys, I shot once, they're all dead. No, that was the nemesis of this module.
Yeah.
But I'm taking that into consideration, so.
Mm-hmm.
So now that'll be 3 Rancor and Arax, a Crate Dragon, and
Well, I saw what a
67
Rancor did to you guys. It,
It hurt.
yeah.
They're ugly business up close.
So you're not
man.
invulnerable.
Yeah. Well, Rancors should be like, it's time to die.
Well, that was the direction things were headed. I think... Was that one of the times Gank got knocked the fuck out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had
that's
to
right.
throw him in the van and drive off with him.
That's right.
Got knocked out a few times.
Yeah. Toll was kind of the hero of that one, where like Gank got hit by one like swipe of the Rancor and got knocked out. And I'm probably exaggerating, but this is how I picture it in my head. Like he got knocked out in one hit, and Toll's like dodging out of the way of everything.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna need a clean set of ropes after this.
But yeah, so I hope it works out. I hope you guys are enjoying it. So.
Oh yeah.
They're having fun.
Gonna rescue our Chadra fan friend.
Yeah.
All right. And I know you guys have busy schedules, but I'm working on like a cyberpunk campaign using the Genesis system. But we're probably looking at playing that on Thursdays, on alternate weeks from Bear's Clone Wars game. So I don't know. It would be cool if you guys could, plan that too. But I know your schedules are.
What time would it be?
What is it? 6 to 10
Yeah.
Eastern.
After work for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be increasingly busy, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to
A
steal
resident
people that
doctor.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a job change here soon, so hopefully I might be able to hit that.
Yeah, let me know. It'd be great. It's the fun part of the Genesis system is that it's very like it's the same sort of dice as this.